You're listening to the Snipers Club. I'm your host, the Sniper, and this is Hatty the Poster Boy. Who needs a water boy when you've got a poster boy? Today, we're joined by our resident Melbourne Storm superfan, Jaidyn. Welcome, Jaidyn.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. Good to hear from you again. Now, rumour has it that Jaidyn apparently found Harry Grant's house. And what she did was she rang on the doorbell and she said, "Excuse me, are you Harry Grant?" He said, "Yes." And then she stapled a winning bet slip to his ear. That was about 3 weeks ago. He hasn't been able to get it off since. Isn't that true, Jaidyn? Did you post a winning bet slip, staple it to his ear, and now it's going to be there forever?
Yeah, that's true. So when you see him run out on the weekend, keep an eye on it.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's why he's wearing the helmet.
For sure. So, good to speak to you, Jaidyn. It's been a little while. It's been a few weeks. It's good to hear your voice. Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Chatting again. No, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. So, how's it been going with you the last few weeks? I think we last spoke around, was it Magic Round?
Yes. Yeah, it actually was. It was like leading up to Magic Round, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I have the dirty smell of a Val Holmes Hatty there. Was that the last one?
Yes, it was. I think so.
It
Don't remind me.
It lingered. And then after that, obviously he scored almost every match after that.
Naturally. I feel like that's the way it always goes.
Yeah, we had him in our multi. He was the last leg of a multi. I think he was the 4th or 5th player. And we're saying, go left, go left, go left. And he just wouldn't go left. And then, lo and behold, the following week, I think he scored 2. So the guys in the group were horrified, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Just before we start, guys, we hit a massive $121 multi, same game multi in the Wars v Cowboys game, and it absolutely went off on the Discord. So we had people winning 2,300, 3,400, God knows what, 10s and 20s mainly, some 30s.
Jeez.
And it's absolutely exploded on our Discord. And the other good thing that we did is we backed each individual component of that multi as a single as well. So we had Jaidyn to score anytime. We had the Wars to win 13 plus. We had Mitch Barnett to score at $7. And there was one other. We had DWZ in there as well, but we didn't back him as a single. We even had AFB to score 2 or more tries at $34. So it would have been even more astonishing had he done that. But it was brilliant. If you want to check us out, go to our socials, Google Linktree the Snipers Club, and you can find all our details on there. And you can follow Jaidyn at the usual place, which is @_JAIGGG on Twitter. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, the underscore's at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the right letters, yeah.
Cool. So we've got all of that in the show notes. So just, you can check it out there as well. All right, let's kick off. So let's rewind slightly back to Origin 1. Now, before the game started, what were you thinking, Jaidyn?
I was fairly confident. I mean, I'm a Queen, I go for Queensland. I was fairly confident on the lineup that Queensland had, and I just thought that I was a little worried the weather in Sydney looked like it was going to be a bit wet, and it usually is at that time of the year, so I was a little bit worried, but I just thought our strike out wide was just far superior to sort of what New South Wales had. I was a little worried with their forwards, but I did think Queensland were going to win.
Okay,
and ended up a good game. Yeah.
We were sort of leaning towards a tight game and potentially even a draw. But then, I think it was the 5th or the 6th minute, disaster struck. And do you want to run us through what happened from your perspective?
From my perspective, I just think that, they were going hard, after Walsh, obviously nothing against any of the rules until that tackle that Suoli'i did obviously went wrong, and I just think Walsh slipped that tiny bit, and Suoli'i's lost sort of all control, and then got sent off. I thought straight away it was a send off. I feel like purely because what we've seen in other games. Even I know people say NRL Origin's different, but I just thought like the Dom Young one when he got sent off. I remember a Hughes one when he got sent off. A lot of them are slipping, and it's never made a difference. So yeah, I thought for sure he was going to get sent there.
But I mean, Suoli, he didn't have the ripped shirt that Dom Young had when he shoulder charged someone in the face, did he? Because that went viral all over social media.
The similar arrogance. I feel like a lot of players like sort of check on the well-being in that circumstance, but he was just he didn't even care.
No, and Ashley Klein was not messing around, was he? He looked angry.
Yeah. Or especially the replay, because obviously Hammer got that break there from Swilly kind of jumping out of the line, and they let play go on, and then the replay just made it like obviously it was even worse because Walsh hadn't moved, and then a little time had passed, and just the crowd obviously like got into it and stuff, and I think it was the right call at the end of the day.
Do you think he fell into the tackle?
No, I mean I feel like he slipped slightly, but as I said, I could there's a few tackles I can remember the exact same thing happening, and then you look at the other end of it. There's also a lot of players that slip and that never happens. So I thought it was the right call based on like other examples that we've seen.
Yeah, because I was shouting at the screen. I was shouting, "Just piss off to Union." You ruined, I swear, and we just had enough of it, Yeah. And it's always a Rooster. What are they doing? I mean, it was Rory Hargreaves 2 years ago against the Rabbitohs in the semi-finals, or whatever in the finals, creating an absolute riot. They were playing well. Was going to be a tight game, and then they've just got to do that. Then it's Dom Young doing something similar with his shirt in the rain. That fell apart. Then they go to play the Cowboys and put up the most shambolic performance you've seen in your life, where they're cruising and they just say, "Oh, forget it. We're only 5 meters from the try line, but we're going to take the 2." What?
Oh no!
What are they doing? What's going on at the Roosters? Then you've got Cheese with his gambling problem. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, I was surprised. Like everyone keeps saying he doesn't suit the Roosters culture, and it sort of surprised me because I was like, he's obviously come from like Melbourne, are like sort of renowned for a strict culture sort of thing, and everyone keeps saying, oh, it's just Roosters, like the culture, they're too strict, blah blah blah. But I'm like, damn, like Melbourne would have been probably worse, to be honest, but maybe out of the limelight a little bit, who knows. Yeah. But he's gone downhill. You can even see it, I feel like, on the field, to be honest.
He looks a little overweight, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's trying to break the line or burrow as much. He has 10-15 minute patches of good play, and then he can be anonymous in large parts, can't he?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Just watching him, I think too, because I watched him closely, obviously, at Melbourne, and it's such a difference. I think you're right, maybe a little bit overweight, but he just looks wrecked. I mean, he's obviously got those good bursts just because of who he is and how he plays, but ultimately I think like he hasn't lived up to sort of where he should be at all at the Roosters, if you ask me. At all.
And Connor Watson's put him to absolute shame because he's been brilliant when he's played, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy what's happened, to be honest. There has to be more going on.
For sure. So it'll be good to see Connor Watson back again this weekend. Let's see what happens with Brandon Smith. There have been rumours about him potentially going to the Warriors. I don't think they'd have him. I don't think Webby would allow him into that culture at all. And let's see if he can, hopefully get his career back on track and really fulfill the potential that we saw 2-3 years ago. Let's move back to Origin 1. So then Reece Walsh gets knocked out, pretty much knocked out. He gets taken to the head bin and he's ruled out for the game, obviously. Then Hammer comes into fullback. What did you make of Hammer?
Yeah, he was a gun. To be honest, I had a slight. I mean, it doesn't really suit what I'm saying just because we didn't see what happened. But I thought maybe with Cobbo coming off the bench, I thought there was going to be a chance that we could even say if there was no injuries, that Cobbo could have came on and it would have been Hammer in attack that sort of lingered around. So as soon as Walshy went off, I was pretty confident it was going to be Hammer that would obviously go to fullback. A lot of people thought Cobbo, but I just didn't think that at all. And Hammer's just everywhere. Like any break, he's gone. And that's one of the reasons I thought Queensland would do so well. Just their speed. Like the speed of the outside backs is crazy. And Hammer's just always backing up. And he hasn't really got that passing game, obviously, to set up, like Walshy does. But he was just everywhere, which in terms of in the breaks, and that's what we needed. So it worked out well.
So he scored a Hatty without breaking a sweat.
Oh,
Effortless. So good to watch.
Yeah.
Like, how did the Cowboys let him go? How could they not see that? What's going on there?
I know. It's crazy. Honestly, he's so good. I mean, as I said, like I would have been a bit critical, obviously, if that game was a bit closer and that sort of thing. There was obviously times he wasn't really even around, but he sort of just makes up for it. He's pure speed and he's smart, just like to be there at the right time, pop up, sort of like Slater used to play, just kind of always there through the middle. So and just way too fast.
Yeah. Okay. And then we could go through a couple more things. Gerbo was taken off after something like 20 minutes. What did you make of that? What do you think the tactics were once Suali got binned or got sent off?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get the sort of the rumor that, well, not the rumor, there's sort of the belief that it was more they needed leg speed through the middle, and he with 12 players obviously for the rest of the game, and they sort of, they were better off having like, Olukwatu and Yo and McInnes and all that through the middle, just with better leg speed and all of that. But I think he's a very good defender, and I think he would have handled it, but I just think it's not ideal. Like, that's your captain. I mean, I get why people are saying the reason, but I'm not sure. I think it was a bit bizarre, to be honest. He's the captain at the end of the day. You need him on the field, and he's a great defender. Like, to me, he holds up the middle quite well. And obviously with Hammer, and it was a bit fast and all of that. But I'm not too sure.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you there. How do you think New South Wales did from that point on?
I think they did. Obviously, they showed a lot of heart and fight, and they sort of played in a way defensively. I mean, like, they were targeting that right edge when Nico was defending there, and then once Crichton switched over, which it's bizarre how long it took him to switch over, it sort of calmed down that little bit, and it was more like an arm wrestle, and I think that sort of made sense based on the players they had picked. And I think if it was 13 on 13, it would have been quite similar, just real tight sort of defensive sort of game. I think they did well in that sense, but just in attack, I mean, it's obviously going to be hard. You're one player down, but I still think, they didn't show too much, and it's going to be interesting if they sort of say, oh, we'll pick the same team, we're one player down, and it's sort of just sort of swept under the carpet. But I don't know. I think, I don't think their attack looked too good anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. So game 2 is going to be in Adelaide, right?
No, it's here in Melbourne.
Is it? Okay. Was game 1 in Adelaide? Have I made a mistake?
Game 1 was in Adelaide last year.
Okay. Am I going mad? Is game... No, maybe I'm going...
Game 3 is Queensland.
All right. Cool. So what sort of... What would you make any... What changes would you make to the Blues team ahead of the next game?
For a start, I think I'd definitely have Burton on the bench. I think they need a utility. If he's not on the bench in the centres, I think he needs to be there. I've seen, obviously, Latrell. I'm in two minds about that. As a Queenslander, he would worry me, but at the same time, like defensively and everything, I mean, he hasn't played centre in years. I mean, I think he's probably confident and he'd be comfortable there. But sort of Mitchell or Burton in the centres there for Suaalii. Olukwatu I'd probably have starting, to be honest. I mean, I know he played in the middle, but even the fact that they had a second rower sort of playing in the centres and he still didn't play on an edge was sort of weird to me. I think he needs to be on an edge, and maybe Mitchell Moses for Nico, but no, I'm still not quite sure about that. I think there can be something better. I'm just not sure who I would pick.
See, okay. For me, I'd have 5 changes. Teddy out, Suaalii obviously out, Nico out, McInnes out, Hudson out. The ins for me would be Dylan Edwards, 100%, first name on the team sheet. Latrell in, Moses in, Murray in, Watson in.
Ooh, Watson. That's an interesting one.
I don't see it happening, but I'd love to.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind it. Watson's quite, he could be a little X factor because I feel like they do lack that. Like looking across the board, I feel like they just lack that X factor. So, I mean, he'd be good. I feel like he's kind of similar how I see Burden. I mean, a bit different because Watson plays in the middle.
Yeah.
But just Burden, he worries me. Like if I was as a Queensland fan, I'm happy that Burden's nowhere near that side. But Watson would be quite similar. I feel like I wouldn't want him coming on with his speed either. So, yeah.
Do you think they're going to axe Gerbo? Will he remain as captain? What's the plan going to be there?
Nah, I feel like they can't. I feel like that'll just make Madge sort of look like, I don't know. I just think he'll stay as captain. He'll stay in the team. I feel like Madge made that decision, and whether he truly believes it or not, I feel like he'll just have to stick with it for now. It's too soon. I feel like it needs to give it a little bit of time.
Okay, so Queensland go in 1-0 at the moment in the series. What's your prediction for the series for this, Jaidyn?
I feel like Melbourne, I feel like the middle game could be fairly tight. Purely similar to what I thought. I think that there could be raining. I mean, it's been raining here all the time lately, so we're in winter now. So if the game's sort of wet, I think it will be close. Wouldn't be surprised if New South Wales grabs the second game, but I think Queensland will be too hard to beat in the third. So probably 2-1 Queensland's way.
Okay, so sort of 1-12 game for game 2 in favour of the Blues.
Yeah, I feel like probably. I mean, my heart obviously not, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think they'll win 13 plus, but if it's going to be wet and stuff, I think that will obviously fall in their favour a bit more than ours.
Okay, cool. We'll keep a lookout for that. Now, since we last spoke, there have been Hatties flying in all over the place. It's been absolutely ridiculous. So we had Hammer, we had Lomax score a stunning 32 points. Didn't miss a kick. I think he scored 10 kicks in a row. Hatty, Tommy Talau, 4 tries against the Panthers. That was insane. Love that guy. His girlfriend got smashed up a bit during Women's Origin, Sakis, but she played quite well. So keep an eye on her. He faces Zach Lomax this weekend, Sakis' ex. Is there going to be a riot? Who wins that riot, Lomax or Tommy Talau? What are your thoughts, Jaidyn?
I feel like Lomax will get that. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like Lomax will get the chocolates there.
Okay. Then we had Brian Toto score a ridiculous hat-trick. It's like Manly had no idea how to defend Luai. Surely it's not that complicated. Garrick missing God knows how many kicks obviously, dampened the confidence of Manly. But Luai's going to go there. Shut him down. What are you doing? It was. Have you ever seen defense that bad? As what man? I mean, it was shocking.
He had them in all sorts. But not only that, I'm still not sold on Garrick in the centres. Like I feel like he should be back to left wing. Tommy Talau in the centres. Put Kula. Sorry, I don't know how to say his name. Back on the right with Saab, and I don't know. I just don't. He's a really good defender, and I just don't. I'm not sold on Garrick there, to be honest.
I don't think for me it's not so much Garrick. How can you put the kid at fullback? How? What do you expect?
Yeah.
So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to move the kid, Hopoate, and then you've got to decide who's my fullback. Is it Kohler, who was unbelievable at fullback last season, or is it Garrick? Either of the two is fine, but you can't play the kid at fullback. He's like a stick insect. He's gonna get run over. His confidence was shot. He can't direct the team. He's the last line of defence. How can he be the last line of defence against Penrith? What do you expect?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Yeah. And you've taken the lead and you've played really well and you've got to go in ahead at half time. But when Penrith look up and they see him, they're like, oh, all right, this won't take long. And they just got completely run over. So who would you have as fullback? Would you have Kohler at fullback or Garrick at fullback?
Oh yeah, for that Manly side, if it was out of those two, 100%, I'm going Kohler. Garrick's a bit like, when Alex Johnston plays fullback. It's just sort of doesn't. He can break tackles, strong ball runner, but not really setting up anybody and not really a threat. In shape or anything like that. Whereas Kohler, like when he played fullback, he killed it. I was surprised they kept Hopewadi back there. Also because their numbers, like even their numbers look shot, and a lot of that's obviously on him as well, like organising the defensive line. I think he's just out of his league. He's still young, and I'd probably go Kohler. Next in line if they were going to change it.
Yeah, and then apparently Tommy Turbo is going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks' time. So let's see what's going on there. It takes him a while to build back into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's not going to hit the ground running at the first game. He's sort of slow burner when he first comes back. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So then we had the Knights against the Storm. It was a bit of a weird game. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was a weird game. I didn't get sort of the first 20 of the second half. I was busy, but the first half, it was just odd. It was back and forth, and defensively, both teams just sort of, just all over the shop defensively, and it's a bit of a worry. I don't know, and usually it's our Storm's other edge, like they're right, and this time it was both edges. Remus Smith, Gagai. I know he can show up when he wants to, but it just wasn't a good game for the Storm, but it's good for Newcastle that they're finally putting points on, and I feel like the fullback that they went with is better than Armstrong. He probably suits the team a bit more, bit stronger, similar to Hopewadi, I guess, just that bigger body sort of thing. So a bit of a weird game.
Comparisons have been made to Pappy for Fletcher Sharp. They were saying he's the most similar player that we can compare him to. So that's a massive compliment.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and then the other guy, Armstrong's, he's gone to Lee in the Super League is it next year or 2025? Or is that
I think
next
it's
year?
from next. I think it's next. Yeah, next year, 2025. But it's pretty crazy.
Why would he go to Lee?
Yeah, that's weird because I did hear Roosters were chasing him, and I know he rejected them and chose to stay with Knights, but now he's backflipped on that. I just feel like maybe he just realised he's just back down the pecking order, maybe. But at the same time, he re-signed when Fletcher Sharp was named. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I thought it was an odd decision to just get up and go to Super League. So yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what happens with that. So Gagai had an absolute stormer last weekend. He was facing. Was he facing Remus? Yeah.
Yeah. Gave him a bath.
Complete bath. And then on the other side, our friend Nick Meaney scored twice, 2 good tries, but he was also given a bath, wasn't he?
Yeah, they both were. And even before the game, I was on Lucas to score purely for that. There's a few people like, oh, but he's named in the centres. I was like, that's literally the reason.
Yeah.
I was like, he's opposite Nick Meaney, and both of our edges just struggled. Obviously our left Munster's not there and Wishart's there. I don't know if there's a bit of trust, but it was more one-on-one, with Gagai. Remus was just they were numbered off. Remus was just getting gone. So.
Yeah, and then looking ahead to this weekend, you're facing the Wars. You're on a 15-game win streak against the Wars. You're travelling to New Zealand, not the easiest place to go. They've got most of their players back. Rumour has it that SJ will play. I personally don't think he will. I think they'll stick with the same team as last week and ease SJ back in. They need him for the second half of the season. And I think he may disrupt this balance of the team a little bit more than usual because the combos have been working recently. Confidence is on a high. Why risk him? That's just my personal opinion. I'm probably wrong, but I'll be very keen to see late mail for that game. Now, on those edges, you'll have Nick Meaney against Mitch Barnett. That's dangerous.
That is
and
dangerous.
Then on the other edge, it'll be Niokore against. So it'll be Murata against Who's filled in for Reema Smith this week?
Who is filling in for Reema Smith? I
Oh,
did
it's
look.
Yaramia. No, it's Yaramia, isn't it? So you've put Grant
Oh, it
Anderson on
is
the right.
true.
Yeah, Grant Anderson on the right wing, Dean Yaramia on the left. Now,
Yeah,
what do you make?
yeah,
What
he'll
do
be
you
his
make?
coach.
Yeah. So, what do you make of Yaramia defensively? Can you give us an insight, if you have any, on
Nah,
that?
to be honest, I don't. I mean, I know he's a strong defender, but I've only actually seen him play on the wing, so
Yeah.
that's a whole different, obviously position. I've seen Anderson playing the centers more than Dean, so that's actually going to be an interesting one, something to look at when I.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon.
Yeah. So, could it be a late change? Could you see Yaramia on the wing on the right, and then Anderson actually filling in at left centre? Does that make more
Yeah, I
sense?
mean, yeah, I feel like that makes more sense based on what I've seen, but I also haven't really kept up with reserve grade. So, I mean, maybe Dean Irami has been playing there in the centres, and if that was the case, then I'd be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep the team the way it is, but I've definitely seen Anderson more of a centre than Dean, but he is that bigger body. That is the only thing. Dean is a bigger body, and Anderson's more that athletic sort of player, so he does suit the wing, and Dean in the centres. But yeah, I just haven't really seen it.
Yeah, so guys, if you're looking at that game and want to come up with anything, we strongly suggest waiting for late mail, because we can see a couple of changes potentially for the Storm and a couple of changes for the Wars. The other thing to talk about is Sewer. Now, he looked completely broken last weekend.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did. I think with Sewer, he's like Bellamy said a couple of times. He's obviously still learning fullback, and I feel like you can really see it. I think that he the way he plays, he sort of hasn't found his spots yet. I don't think. I feel like he's still like getting his spacing right, and I mean, obviously he's also with a new spine and new team, and Wishart's in there now for Munster and that sort of thing. But yeah, I just every time I watch him, I'm like, I just feel like he's just maybe needs like another year at fullback, sort of in reserve grade. Just to kind of get a better passing game and just learn his spacing a bit better.
Because Pappy's apparently nearly back, right?
Yeah, I heard that round 15 was when he'd start training with the team, so that'll be this week.
So do you think he comes straight back in next week, or do you think Sewer gets one more week?
Well, I haven't really heard much about Paps, but if he's on track, then I feel like I don't think they'll play Paps reserve or anything like that. I think they'll bring him straight back, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. So keep an eye out for Sewer. They'll probably be targeting him, the Wars, and they've got some big bodies in there. So I think he had a really good try saver towards the end of the game against Newcastle. He got his hand under the ball. That was really, really good work. But those big Wars forwards, he's not going to be stopping those. He's not going to be stopping those in a hurry, is he?
Yeah, exactly. They're a bit of a different, different tonight. That's for sure.
Okay, so let's move on. So what have you got for us this week, Jaidyn? You've got a Hatty for us. Have you got the same game multi as well? It's up to you.
Yes, I do. I have. Yeah, I do. I have both. I've come prepared.
You said if I ask you, you'll definitely say yes. So how come you sort of wanted to give the multi, but then sort of didn't? Are you? What's going on with that?
It was a secret, that conversation that we had, but let it go. Nah, I don't know. I feel bad when I give my $100 odd multi and it doesn't come off. But I've had some time to sit and think, and I'm coming back with both.
Cool, you're coming back strong.
Yes.
And you nailed Blake Wilson this weekend, didn't you? That was all over the place in the Dogs game. That late mail.
Oh, I know. I was fairly confident, but the worst part about it is how many times that he could have scored, and the ball was taken back for us because I had them two to combine for two or more.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, I was like, how have they not scored like 5 between them?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jaidyn, who's your Hatty the poster boy for this weekend?
So my Hatty, I feel good about this one. I think that it's in the Rabbitohs Broncos game. I've gone with a winger again. The wingers have been getting over lately, so let's hope. But I've actually gone with a Rabbitohs winger, and I've gone with Jacob Gagai.
Interesting.
Score 3 or more. Yeah, he's paying $26 on Sportsbet, and I just think that Cody Walker's obviously playing that right edge, and Broncos left. If they've got any weakness, it's that by a mile. And there's thought that Corey Oates is injured and won't play, and Karapani will be in that on that left wing, which I think makes it even worse. But whoever is on that left wing, I still think that Jacob Gagai is a chance to get over for 3 or more.
Jaidyn, that is hot. Love that info. Where did you hear that?
I follow someone on Twitter that is like always at the Broncos trainings, and yeah, apparently Karapani was playing left wing, and Corey wasn't training. I think he's got an ankle injury or a knee injury. So they're expecting Karapani to be a late inclusion.
Wow.
I mean, we only seen him at centre.
You heard it here first on the Snipers Club. Jaidyn with the inside track on Jacob Gagai's first. Has he scored a hat-trick before in first grade?
I know he scored 2 against Storm because I was there. Yeah, but it could have been 3. No, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. Outside Walker, and Mitchell, you're always a chance to score. So.
Yeah, so just looking at the early odds for the UK guys, he's available at $29 on Sky Bet. And whilst we're chatting, I'll also have a quick look at Bet365 whilst Jaidyn runs us through her same game multi. What have you got cooking for that one, Jaidyn?
Yes. So it's hit right on $100 odds, so that's why I think this is the one. So I've got Asako anytime. Sharks versus Dolphins. Yeah, I just think that Sharks, their left edge, Iro and Molitalo can be on separate pages quite often, and Nikorima's back, so I think Asako to cross into Hudson Young. Similar thinking there. Raiders they love going to him. Strange has a fairly good short passing game. Hudson's so competitive, and Townsend and Nanai, they're just not that right edge of the Cowboys isn't too decent. So I'm actually super confident on Hudson Young. Into Olakuatu, Dragons versus Eagles. I think if he's one-on-one with Flanagan, which they can find Olakuatu space with their little plays that they got going on. I think he'll trample over. And then into Josiah Paulu. Sorry if I said that wrong. He's a bit of a roughie, but I've been watching him closely. He's finally starting. His minutes are going up. He's been playing 50 minutes per game, which I like. And Tigers are all over the place. They've got Fanua Bola playing in second row. I'm sure Alex Seifert will come on for him, but still, I just think they're all over the place, and Titans will probably go fairly well, and hopefully he gets over in the middle. So that's a 4-leg multi. And that's paying $158 on Sportsbet.
How cool. Can you just give us the players again, Jaidyn?
Yes, so we've got Jermaine Asako into Hudson Young, into Homole Olakuatu, into Josiah Paulu.
Nice. How cool.
Yes.
So, guys, we'll put this in the show notes for you. Do shop around, depending on whether you're in the UK or in Oz. You may be able to find slightly higher than that. And there's a couple that we like in there as well. Now, Olakuatu looked a little bit injured last weekend, didn't he? He was taken off, and then it was just a tri-fest after he went off. It became an absolute sieve. Do you think he's going to be 100%?
Yeah, well, the word is that he's fine, and I think they also said he probably could have went back out there. But and I think Origin coming up, a lot of people don't want him in the team, and to me, I feel like he has to be there if he's fit. Not off the bench in the middle. I mean, on an edge. But I think he'll want to put his best foot forward, and he'll be in for a good game.
Great. So we've got 2 Origin guns in there that'll both be out to prove a point: Hudson Young and Olakuatu. We've got the Nuggety Paulu. He looks super strong. He's got a great drive. He's got good ball retention. And then we've got arguably the best finisher in the league in Jermaine Osako. And he was on absolute fire on the wing for New Zealand. Did you see him play in the Pacific Championships?
Oh yeah. He's a gun, and he, as you said, he finishes. And I just think that that left edge. I mean, on Sportsbet he's paying I think $2.10, which to me is, I don't know. Nikorima's a gun, and as I said, that left edge isn't too shabby for the Sharks. So yeah, hopefully they get overlap there, and Nikorima can get him over.
Fingers crossed for that. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So let's move on. So this is our favourite part of the show. It's Badgerwatch, where we look at.
I knew you were going to say.
We look back at how Casey did in the last week. Now, she had 2 games last weekend. She was in the bunker for Women's Origin. Did you watch that at all, Jaidyn?
No, I didn't. I don't really catch the women's games. I probably need to start.
Yeah, she didn't have very much to do. It was quite tight. It was extremely wet. Queensland got over at the line in the end, and she only had one call, and it wasn't even a very dubious call. She was like, no, I'm not having this. No, you've lost your challenge. So there was nothing to report there. Very, very easy shift for her. Very easy, way to make some money there. And then she had a little bit of a tougher game on Sunday in the Dogs against the Eels. And there was a controversial decision towards the end. Blake Wilson managed to get through from what my perspective was a blatant forward pass. And then there was a question mark as to whether he was in play or not. Did you see that, Jaidyn? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought, as you mentioned before, I actually had him for my bet. So I was hoping that he was getting over, but I think more so also it was super close. And because I did have him for my bet, I was watching that try back fairly closely. And I thought 2 things. I thought for sure it would probably get taken back because Crichton took out Dylan Brown, and it looked like Dylan Brown was trying to get through to me. It didn't look like he initiated the contact. And second, and they always take that back. And secondly, Wilson, I always thought that you have to have 2 feet to get back in the field of play, and then you can get the ball. And I'm sure he only had 1. So I mean, I'm not fully certain on the rule, but that's just the rule that I thought was right. So yeah, I thought it was going to get taken back for sure, for at least one of those reasons.
Okay, cool. So let's keep an eye. If anyone knows the answer to that, then do get in touch on Twitter or on the Discord, guys, and let us know, just to clear that up. So it was a little bit ambiguous. I think if she did want to find something, she would have, but somehow the try was given. That wasn't, what we were expecting at all. So let's keep an eye on that. So, Jaidyn, what do you vote this week? Are you voting good Badger or bad Badger?
I feel like the rest of the game was pretty good. I feel like most of the things were right, so I'm going to say good Badger. And she also got my my multi over the line. So.
Oh, well done. How much did that pay?
Yeah. I think it wasn't much. I think I had like $10 on it, and it was like 210 returns. So.
Nice. So you're voting Honey Badger, are you?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I had 2, and then I had another, which was Karaz and Wilson to combine for 2 or more. So that got that over as well, which was I put 150 into 450. Wow. So I was happy. Yeah, Honey Badger for me.
Honey Badger. Well, for me, she was definitely a bad Badger because we didn't want that try to go over. I think we had the Eels in running, and they choked again. It just fell apart at the seams. Just before half-time, it looked like an absolute lock. And then from the 49th minute onwards, they just turned into a pumpkin. So it happened again. How did that happen? Bryce Cartwright, what were you doing? You're a good player, Bryce. What's going on with the ball retention? And the pumpkin came back. But
yeah, Eels are so...
flaky.
I know. They've hurt me so many times, like in head-to-head. I just would never touch them ever again. Just because they're just so hot and cold. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and they lure you in with a full sense of security with the offloading game, the early offloading game, the good body language. It's all there. Everything looks set up for a really good game. And then, just like Cinderella, when it's just about to hit midnight, they turn into a pumpkin every single game. It's ridiculous. What did you make of Blaze on the wing, Jaidyn?
Yeah, he did alright. I feel like, yeah. I mean, I don't think he did bad. I don't think he was outstanding. He's obviously a good kid and he's got a lot of talent. I feel like, they'll probably keep him there while Simonson's obviously out. And I probably think he's their next best option, to be honest. So, and give him the reps, get him the game time, and yeah.
And he'll get good ball off Moses. So we like him.
Yeah.
We think he's going to be an absolute guy.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Jaidyn, thank you very much for joining us. Great to hear your voice. Good luck with this weekend. Can you remind people how they can find or follow you on your socials?
Yeah, so my Twitter is JAIGGG, so 3 Gs, _. So that's my Twitter. I do have the Sportsbet feed as well, which is just JAIGGG. And they're the only 2 places you can find me.
Okay, awesome. And for the Snipers Club, guys, Google the Snipers Club link tree. Click on the link tree. You can find all the links to podcasts like these, our Discord, member access, and all sorts of stuff like that. So you've been listening to the Snipers Club. Please like, share, and help our channel grow.